Hey, good afternoon, guys. It is Monday, 11:30. What a gorgeous Monday. Let's talk about this. If you are thinking about buying, if you've been renting for quite a while and you are ready to finally have some independence and have something of your very own, or if you graduated from college and you've been having a job for a couple of years, or you're about to go through a divorce and you need your own place, or for whatever the reason may be, if you just want to buy a new place, but especially if you're a first-time home buyer, the great news is you can buy a home probably with little to maybe no money down at all. If you are a veteran, you can buy a house with zero money down. There are so many different loan types, and I tell people this all the time. The misconception is that the smartest place to go for a home loan is a bank, and that's exactly what I believed before I got into real estate. And I also believed that you had to go to a bank and that you needed 20% down. And so until I had 20% down, that there was no reason to even look into purchasing a home. The great news is that is absolutely the furthest thing from the truth. You can buy a house with 0% down if you're a veteran, or if you qualify for a USDA loan. Some people call it an RD loan or a rural development loan. A rural development or USDA loan is for any home outside of Lafayette Parish or Lake Charles Parish, outside of the city limits. So even if it's in a town, if it's in Rain, if it's in Crowley, if it's in Eunice, if it's in Ville Platte, wherever, it's still considered rural, and you could still possibly qualify for 100% financing, all right? So if you, for whatever reason, think that you are ready to purchase a home, I would love to have a conversation with you and help you get the ball rolling. You will absolutely benefit from talking to a mortgage broker, not a bank, a mortgage broker who specializes in every kind of loan type you can possibly imagine, for every situation you could possibly imagine. And listen, there are actually mortgage brokers out there who specialize in people who have low credit scores. So if you think your credit is so pitiful that you can't apply for a loan, that may not be the case. There are mortgage brokers who specialize in people who have very low credit, people who have no credit, and there are loan types for every situation imaginable. If your credit is so pitiful that you qualify for a VA loan, not a VA loan, an FHA loan, and you need 3.5% down of the sale price, and you say, well, I qualify for that, but I don't have 3.5% down, there are ways around that. There are ways to get the 3.5% down even if you don't have it. So listen to me. This is what I always say to people. Where there's a will, there is a way. And so if you are motivated to buy a house, if you are motivated to buy a house and you have a job, all right, you have to have a job, and you have to have had the same job for at least the last year, or you've gotten promoted, or you've gotten transferred, all right? So if you're just one of those people who quit your job every couple of months because you don't like the boss, probably you're not going to qualify for a loan right now. So if you're one of those people who wants to buy a house in the near future, but you have a problem with keeping a job, I would say work on keeping a job. Work on staying in the same job for at least 1 year. Listen, we all put up with shit we don't like sometimes, right? We put up with crap, we put up with drama, we put up with bad bosses. You do what you gotta do to get what you want. So if you're in a situation that you're not happy with, but you've been in the job not quite a year, put up with some more crap, deal with it, do what you gotta do. Once you get your loan for your house, then go find another job. All right, that would be the smart thing to do. So if you're thinking about buying anytime soon and you're just not sure how to get started, give me a call. Depending on your situation will depend on which mortgage broker I recommend that you work with. There are different ones for veterans that I recommend. There are different ones for people who have really poor credit. There are different mortgage brokers for every situation you can possibly imagine. And so, like I said, if you're thinking about buying, give me a call. I'd love to help you. You want to have been pre-approved so that you know your budget and you know your loan type, so that when something hits the market that is in your loan type, that is in your budget, you need to know if your particular loan qualifies you for that particular house, right? So if a house needs a whole lot of work, if it's a fixer-upper, it's not going to qualify for every type of loan. And so that's why it's important to know what kind of loan type you're pre-approved for and what your budget is. Like I've said before, until you know your budget, you're just shooting in the dark. So if you think your budget is, let's say, $300,000, and you start looking at houses that are in a price range of $300,000, and then you get pre-approved and your budget is actually only, let's say, $225,000, and then you have to start looking at houses that are in the $225,000 range, they're not going to look nearly as good as those houses did in the $300,000 range. And so you're going to be looking at what you're going to feel like is a downgrade to houses that you've already looked at. So don't do that. That's not smart. Give me a call if you have questions. I'd love to have a conversation with you, whether you are a buyer or a seller. I love equally working with sellers. I love working with buyers. Keep an eye out on my real estate page if you're thinking about buying soon, because I always have different ones that are going to hit the market. So darlacansell.com, that's darlacansell.com. Or, of course, if you go to realtor.com, anything at all that you see on realtor.com, I can schedule a showing to show you and to help negotiate for you the absolute best price, okay? You need a realtor on your team who loves to work with people, who loves to solve problems, but most importantly is great at negotiating for you to get you the best value, all right? I always tell people that price listed is just the price. That's all it is. It's not set in stone. It is not something that you have to pay. But I love negotiating, and especially if you're the buyer, to get you the absolute best deal possible. Y'all enjoy this Monday. Have a great week. And if there is any way I can ever help you, do not hesitate to get in touch with me. And remember this, there are no stupid questions, ever. If you don't know the answer, the only way you're going to know the answer is to ask. So ask the hard questions. Know everything you can possibly know, and then come up with a plan to do what you need to do to either buy or sell, all right?